What's up, guys? Devon back here for the Rollout Podcast, talking about the 2023 Arnold Palmer DraftKings slate. And if you watched the research show from last night, I changed some things up. Looking at the weather, Friday looks like it's going to be an absolute monstrosity out there, and for the guys that make the cut, it looks like Saturday as of now is not looking too good either. So I'm gonna take this as this wind, not necessarily weather, just the wind. I'm gonna take this right now as this wind is gonna hold up. This forecast for the wind is gonna hold up, and I'm kind of taking that into account when I'm making my picks here. So yeah, let's just jump into it. I'm gonna try to make this one a little bit quicker than normal because I want to try to get out up. I'm gonna try to get the betting show out as well. That's gonna happen. But I also am gonna make a little bit of a betting show for the Puerto Rico Open because I'm interested in that. I'm interested in some of the guys in the field there and taking advantage of something that not a lot of people are probably looking at this week because we have the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So, looking at what we have here, I kind of want to just take a look back at what I was guessing yesterday for prices and see how off I was. So, I had Jon Rahm in the 11K range. I had Rory McIlroy at 10.9 and Scotty Scheffler at 10.7, so flip-flop those guys. But not too bad. But I also had Max Homa and Xander Schauffele in the 10K range, and I'm very surprised that they're not. I guess maybe not Xander, but I thought Max Homa would probably, I figured there'd be like a 10K flat guy. And I thought Max would be like 10 flat, 10-1, something like that. But he's 9,700. Doesn't affect anything for me, but yeah, looking at these three guys in the top, can't go wrong with any of them. I mean, if you go with Jon Rahm, he's expensive, and you're gonna have to get pretty dicey with some picks down further on the board if you want to get another 9K guy, or let's say two 8K guys, something like that. You're gonna have to go lower on the board, and I don't want to go too low on the board this week. I'd rather stay. I want my lineups to end at 7K and no lower. I'm not really interested in the 6K range this week. So listen, Jon Rahm has been the best player for the past at least arguably the last month or two, even though his placing in the world golf ranking didn't say that. But yeah, Jon Rahm, great play. I see nothing wrong with it, but he's just not who I'm going to. The guy I'm going to is defending champ Scotty Scheffler. He doesn't rank out too well in my model. I guess I should talk about what I have in my model. So, based off of the wind that we're seeing, I did make some adjustments to the model. I wanted to get strokes gained around the green in, and I weighted it pretty heavily just because I think it's going to be kind of important this week, especially with the wind. But strokes gained approach is still at 30%. Around the green at 15%, and then at 10% I have strokes gain off the tee, strokes gain putting, because I think it's going to be important to make your putts here, especially with tougher scoring conditions. I got 10% on proximity 200 plus, 10% on par 3s 200, 225, 5% on strokes gain par 5, 5% on opportunities gain, and 5% on strokes gain par 4. So getting back to Scotty Scheffler, he came out and defended at Phoenix, I don't see why he couldn't defend again this week and win again. So I really like Scotty at 10-9, and he is going to be my first core play. I don't know. I was between him and Rory, but I'm gonna go with Scotty. I'm not gonna doubt Scotty's play. Rory has been interesting. It just seems like he can't win right now for some reason. So I'm gonna go with Scotty. I like all three of these guys. I don't see a problem with any of them. I don't see a problem with starting with any of the three of them. But the guy I'm going with is Scotty Scheffler. So moving down into the 9K range, it's kind of weird because, you got Rory McIlroy as the last guy in the 10K range at 10-6. And then the first guy in the 9K range is Max Homa at 9-7. I was very surprised that was just that big of a gap between salaries there. But, yeah, 9K range is Max Homa, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Will Zalatoris, Tony Finau, Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantlay, and Victor Hovland at 9K flat. I can tell you who my fade is in this range for sure is Justin Thomas. He just doesn't seem to have the game right now, and he hasn't played here in a while. I'll pass. I'm not gonna play Justin Thomas. I don't have a problem with Max Homa, just not a guy that I'm going with this week. So I'm passing on Max. I love Max. Max is probably one of my favorite players, but I am not going with him this week. Colin Morikawa, I think, is a decent play. He's going to hit fairways a little bit better than most of these guys. It's just his length that could be a problem, even though he's great with his long irons. So could I see Colin Morikawa at the top of the leaderboard on Sunday? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I have no problem with Colin. I'm just not playing him. But my three guys that I really like in this range are 9,400 and below. I really like Will Zalatoris. I like Xander Schauffele. And I like Victor Hovland. All these guys can get it done in these difficult conditions. These guys are great with their irons. Great off the tee. For Will and Victor, it's questionable with the around the green play. But I think Will is a great play. My only problem with Will on DraftKings is how high of an ownership he's going to be at. I think he, if not the highest owned, he's going to be like the second or third highest owned. And I like him. I'm just going to get exposure to him in the betting market, and I'm just going to get a little bit different in my lineups because I'm always going to play a little bit differently. So I'm going to pass on. I like Will. I'll sprinkle him into some lineups, but he's not going to be like a core play for me. I like Xander as well at 9,200. I'm very surprised by that price on him. I think that's also going to garner higher ownership. Seeing Xander at 9,200, we're used to seeing him like the last guy in the 10K range. So I think he is also going to be a little bit higher owned. So I will sprinkle him in, but he's not going to be like in my single entry lineups. But I'll sprinkle a bit at other places. Excuse me. It never seems to fail. Every time I start talking in these videos, I gotta yawn. But my favorite play in this 9K range is Victor Hovland. He's great in the wind. He played great here last year. He seems like he's getting to that point where he's about to win. And if we want to take a little bit of a deeper look at him here, Bermuda's his worst putting surface, but he's great in these difficult conditions. But let's look at what he's been doing, okay? Genesis, gaining 3 strokes off the tee, 3 strokes on approach. Lost almost a stroke in both around the green and putting. At Phoenix, gains 4.2 strokes off the tee, 1 stroke on approach, loses 3.2 around the green, and a little bit over 1 putting. At Pebble Beach, gains 2.4 strokes off the tee, is barely a negative on approach, barely a negative on around the green, and almost gains 1 stroke putting. Back at the Century, almost lost a stroke off the tee, gained 2 on approach, 0.4 loss around the green, and 0.2 loss on putting. So if he can just kind of get to like, a neutral putter with this off the tee and approach play that he's had these last 2 times out. And also another thing is this rough is thicker around these greens, and that actually kind of helps his around the green play. So you could see him having a good around the green week this week at the Arnold Palmer. So if he can just putt a little bit better and keep these off the tee and approach numbers where they're at, Victor Hovland can be at the top of the leaderboard at the end of the week and would be happy about it. So moving on to the 8K range, starting off at 8,900 with Sung Jae, ending at 8,000 with Keith Mitchell. Sung Jae is, right now, it looks like he's going to be a popular pick, which I'm very surprised after he burned so many people last week. I thought maybe he'd be a little less popular, but he looks right now that he's going to probably be a popular pick. If that's the case, I'm going to pass. If later in the week it changes, I'm going to be playing him. He's great in Florida. He's been great here at Arnold Palmer. It's what's really been fouling him recently is his putter, and if he could just turn that around, he will be at the top of the leaderboard on Sunday. The putter has been really bad for him recently, so if he can turn that around, I could see him at the top of the leaderboard. As of right now, I have exposure to him in the betting market. I may sprinkle him in lineups and DraftKings, but he's not going to be in my single entry lineups, and so he's not really my favorite play in this range. Matt Fitzpatrick with his neck injury is kind of worrisome. He's played great at this course. If the neck's not bothering him and it's not affecting his swing, of course he can be there. But just too many questions for me. I'm gonna leave him alone. The guy I'm definitely fading in this range is Tom Kim. I just don't think he can get it done at this course. He really hasn't been playing that well recently, so I'm going to take a pass on him at 8,400. I like Jason Day, but same thing. He's going to be a popular pick just with the way he's been playing. He's got a great course history here, especially with this game that he's been having these last 3 tournaments and coming in here. He's going to be a popular pick at 8,500. I'm just going to steer clear. Like, I'll sprinkle him, but again, he's not going to be like in my single entry lineups just because of the ownership. Tyrrell Hatton, also another great play, also going to be popular because of his history here and how he's been playing, and he's decent in the wind, and I just can't justify the ownership right now, so I'll be passing on him. Hideki Matsuyama is going to be really low owned. He could be a great play here. He has decent course history here. His off the tee recently just hasn't been the best. He's turned the putter around. He's great around the green. He can definitely get it done with the approach. It's just what the off the tee is going to look like, and with some trouble here with water and things like that, I am a little worried. I do have exposure to him in the betting market, but as of right now, and he's also a little bit more popular as of right now than I thought he was going to be. So I like Hideki, but I don't know if I'm going to be getting a lot of them. A guy I am getting a lot of, and who I'm going to be playing a good amount on, is Sam Burns. He's great in Florida. He missed the cut at Genesis. If we want to take a look at this, at 8,100, Sam Burns, man, he can pop. He's great in Florida. Bermuda's his best surface. He can play in the wind. He can play in these difficult conditions. He missed the cut at Genesis. But before that, Got a 6th at Phoenix. He got an 11th at American Express, 32nd at the Century, 7th at CJ Cup. Sam Burns is a great player, and I'm not worried about the miscut. And now that we're getting into Florida, where he plays great in Florida. I mean, he won Valspar last year. He played great here last year. So I really like Sam Burns, and I'm gonna be playing him quite a bit this week. And then moving down to the 7K range. As I was looking more into this wind and how it can affect the how everybody's playing and things like that, I kind of changed a little bit of some stances I had on some of these guys down here. Like, I at first really thought Sahith might be a good play, but I worry about him in the wind, so I'm not going to be playing him. Shane Lowry has a terrible tournament history here. He's missed the cut every time he's played here, but Shane's great in the wind. He's got the game. He could get it done here. I just don't like the course history, and I'm going to pass on him. Corey Connors has a great course history here. I think he's going to be a popular option for people at 7,800, so I'm going to pass on him. Billy Horschel plays great in Florida. Florida guy. Could see him getting it done. He almost got it done here last year. But the play recently with Billy hasn't been the best, so I'm not looking into playing him. Chris Kirk, won last week, got the outright for us last week at 7,700. I like him. With the way I'm building, I'm not getting to him that much. So I like him. He's not like, I was very, yesterday I was very like, I'm going to play him. But now that I'm looking at it more and I'm seeing his price and how it's fitting into how I'm building, I'm not getting to him as much. Ricky, not a bad option at 7,700. I could see playing him. As of right now, I'm really not. Keegan has a great course history here at 7,600. He's great in the wind. He hasn't been playing too bad. He's going to be It looks right now he's a popular pick, so I like him. Might not make the single entry lineup, but I will have him sprinkled in. I'm not looking at Justin Rose. I'm not looking at Wyndham Clark. Not looking at Siwoo Kim. Not really looking at Tommy Fleetwood or Adam Scott or Adam Hadwin. But someone I do like down here, I got a couple guys I like down here at 7,400. I like Gary Woodland and I like Seamus Power. Gary played well here last year. He's got the distance. His approach numbers are really good. As you can see in this rank, this model rank, he is first in proximity 200 plus, fifth in strokes gained approach, seventh on par threes 200, 225. Sixth in opportunities gained. He's great off the tee. He's not the best around the green, and his putter is not that good either. But I could see Gary getting it done, and I really like Gary. I'll be playing him. And Seamus Power, playing great recently, really good. He's great in the wind. I like his numbers. I like what I'm seeing from him, and he's going to be a lower owned option, and I really like pivoting to him in the 7K range. I could see playing Lucas Herbert, great in the wind, great putter, could get it done around the greens, great off the tee, bombs it, not so good on approach, but he's great in the wind, from playing over in Europe. So I like him. He had a great performance here last year. So I don't mind him. I'm not looking at Hoagie, Liz, Taylor at 7,300, but I am looking at Minwoo Lee. I think, getting his feet wet last week was good for him. He plays a lot of these European Tour events with wind, and he can bomb it. I like him. I like him at 7,300, and I think he's going to be a really low-owned option here. Getting lower down, I'm not really liking anybody else down here, but I could see playing Henley. He's got good course history here. Great with his irons. Aaron Wise in the wind. He played well here last year. I don't mind him at 7,200. Just someone that I'm not getting too much of, but I do like him. But like these other guys, Alex Noren I could see, but he just hasn't really been performing since he's come over to the States. Could work out on this course though. Don't like Cage Lee. Don't like Taylor Moore. Don't like Bo Hostler. But someone, as I've been looking more and more into it, and this is a guy I never play. But at 7,100, Christian Bezuidenhout, I really like. So Christian is really good on these difficult courses. Bermuda is a good putting surface for him. He's good in the wind. And as I was taking a deeper look at him, because I was kind of taking a deeper look at these guys that were in the lower K range, lower 7K range, I was like trying to find a guy that I thought would be a little bit lower owned that could make a big difference in my lineup. He hasn't had the best recent history with Honda, Genesis. He made the cut, but was really low on the leaderboard. Missed the cut at Phoenix. Had an 11th at the American Express on a difficult course. Missed the cut at Sony. But what I really liked when I was looking at what Christian's done at the Arnold Palmer Invitational. So last year, he finished 20th. In 2021, he finished 7th, and in 2020, he finished 18th. And he's got it done in different ways. Like, you could see in 2020 and 2021, his putter was on fire. He was decent around the greens in 2020, but in 2021 and 2022, he gained 4 strokes around the green. In 2020 and 2022, he gained on approach 1.5 in 2022, 2.8 in 2020. Lost on approach in 2021. Lost just barely off the tee in 2021. Lost almost 2 strokes in 2020, and he gained 1.2 off the tee in 2022. So he's got it done in different ways around this course, and he's had nothing worse than the 20th place finish at this course. So I really like Christian Bezuidenhout. And it's crazy because I never play him. I never look at him, never play him. But as I was doing just like a deeper look at some of these guys in the lower 7K range, I really like Seabez this week. And I'm going to be looking at like placement bets for him in the betting market. I don't know, something just drew me to him, and the course history backs it up. How he gets it done on difficult courses backs it up. So I really like Christian Bezuidenhout this week. Getting back, so not really anybody else in this lower 7K range I like. Watch out for Sam Ryder. I saw that he withdrew from the Pro-Am. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to withdraw from the event, but just keep an eye on that. But moving down to the 6K range, it's kind of hard. I'm going to be honest, a lot of these options are not that appealing. It's just really difficult to parse out here. I can't really even pick anybody. Like, I guess a guy I was looking at as like a really deep throw was going back to Aaron Baddeley. He has a decent course history here. He's good in the wind. He's really the only guy I really liked in the 6K range. I'm going to be honest. I don't really like anybody in the 6K range, and that's why I'm just staying away from it. And I think it honestly might be the best bet just to completely just stay away from the 6K range. Unless there's a guy you really like down here. I just am not seeing anything I like down here. Joseph Bramlett ranks out well in this model, but he can kind of get squirrely with the driver, and I don't know. 6K range scares me this week, so I'm going to pass on the 6K range. So to round it out, I'm going to talk about my 4 core plays. So what I have is my first core play is Scotty Scheffler. My second core play is Victor Hovland. My third core play is Sam Burns. And as crazy as this sounds, my fourth core play is Christian Bezuidenhout. I'm riding with it. I don't know. I'm riding with it. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Try to get it done a little bit quicker this time. Gonna go make the betting show now. So watch out for that. And so I'm gonna talk about Arnold Palmer and Puerto Rico in that betting show. And then if there's no pricing out yet for Puerto Rico on DraftKings, but if it comes out tomorrow, I May make a video on it, may not, but I'll be curious to see if there's stuff I like, I might make the video. If not, it's not something I'm going to be playing heavily on. I might make like one lineup and throw it in a couple of contests, but yeah, so I'll see you guys over in the betting show. But remember, when we get to 50 subscribers, we're doing a giveaway. Let me know who your favorite play is this week in the comment section on DraftKings. And yeah, leave a like if this helped out, and I will see you guys over in the betting show.